Bubba boy. Bubba boy. Hey, bud. We're live. Barbie bro. Oreo. There we go. Should live shirt out. Oh, not what I wanted. There we go. Live shirt out. Brr, brr, brr. Oh. Brr, brr. Why does it say my live was scheduled? It was not. Hey, why can't I get into my chat? Where's my chat, YouTube? Seriously, YouTube? Really? Fine. There we go. There's the live chat thingy. Okay. Got it. Hey, what's up? What's up? How's it going, y'all? Hey, Joe. Hey, Turtle. Totally sorry I missed the Friday live. I came down with flu, cold, corona. I don't know. Came down with something. I'm still feeling like shit, but not as bad as it was on Friday. Took the weekend to recover. Pretty lethargic. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you all know the basic symptoms of a flu, cold thingy-majiggy. So we're back. Hopefully I'll start feeling better by the Friday live stream. What is the best / worst part of having a bird? They're very personality driven. That is both the best and the worst. So when they're happy and cheerful, it's amazing and cute. And when they're pissed off and angry, it's chaos. Right now he's being calm and quiet, but earlier today I was taking a shower, and as many of you know, I take him in there with me. I put him on the counter with a tablet to watch and fresh water and a towel and make him comfortable. And that's because when you shower, the steam from the shower is good for him. He also gets a bath like once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how messy he gets. He also gets a daily misting with a spray bottle, which he does not appreciate. So I have to cup water in my hands and drip it over him. Anyway, but the steam from the shower is really beneficial for him. And when I'm in the shower, he gets very vocal. He's happy, but he's also upset that he can't see me behind the shower curtain. So he gets very loud. Everybody in the house knows when I shower. Yeah, personality is probably the best worst thing about owning a parrot. Uh, a couple other great things about them is they're very engaged. They're intrigued about things, so they want to explore. And the way that parrots explore is by biting stuff, looking at it, trying to tear it apart. So you have to be on them about that. They're also very messy. They poop wherever they want, and you can definitely potty train a bird. My other birds were potty trained, but it's very hard to do with Oreo because he's missing his right foot. He doesn't fly well, so when he has to go to the bathroom, he doesn't fly to his cage to use it as a bathroom. He just goes wherever. And I've yet to be able to train him to tell me like, "Hey, I'm about to poop." I've worked on that for years. He just doesn't pick up on it, so he just poops wherever. So that's fun. When you go on vacation, is it hard to find someone to watch him? I don't go on vacation, so no. I mean, there has. I mean, I do go away, but usually it's for like a day or two, and for that I can typically set him up on his cage with TV and have people check on him here in the house. I also have a security camera that watches him, and I can talk to him through it. Although I need to get another one because that security camera has been repurposed as a seizure cam for me. So I need to get another one that's pointed directly at Oreo. Berber, stop putting a bigger hole in that shirt, bud. But yeah, if I was to go on like an extended vacation, there's people here at the house who could handle him, take care of him. If I had to go back into the hospital, my roommate Lacey would take care of him. She's typically pretty good at taking care of him. He doesn't like her and tries to bite her, but she can do the basic stuff like food, water, snacks, all that stuff, and she'll come in and hang out with him for a little bit throughout the day and he'll tolerate her as much as he will, and then she'll leave. Yeah, he's destroyed this shirt. He's very fond of destroying my shirts. I have some shirts that I put aside for like, those are for out in public. Those are like cartoon shirts, nice dress shirts. Okay, one nice dress shirt. Band shirts. So those get set aside. That's skin, bud. Hey, that's skin, dude. You can't put a hole in that. Oh, that clipped the mic. My apologies. Those shirts get set aside, and then I just have a bunch of like trash t-shirts that have holes and don't fit well that I wear with him. So those are the Oreo shirts. Not this Oreo shirt. Those are like the Oreo trash shirts that I wear. And then at night, once I'm done, I'll take those off, throw them in the laundry pile, and then put on a nice, comfortable shirt for bed or a pajama shirt, whatever. Anyway, how was y'all's weekend? How's the week going for you? Did you all get Veterans Day off? Dude, cats get me every time. They're like, "Why, yes, human, you can pet my belly. Please do so." And then after like 15 seconds of petting their belly, I get clawed. I'm like, "You rolled over on your back and were purring because I was petting your belly and your ribs, like up here and like a little bit down here, and then you shred my hand with your claws or you bite me, little little bastards." Cats are mischievous. All right, they are tricksters. Lacey's grandma's cat Wheezy. Her real name's Louise, but we all call her Wheezy. She was very cute the other day. Anytime she hears my voice upstairs, she comes out and goes meow, 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 and gets very upset when I don't immediately jump to petting her. But I was petting her, and she rolled over, and she started batting at me with her claws. Claws not out, by the way, just like batting at me, like she's playing around. And I put my finger against the bottom of her claw, her paw, and then she like wrapped her claws around my finger and held it in place. And we were like playing tug of war. It was very cute. Berber, are you watching David Attenborough? You've been working since Friday, dang. Glad you were able to catch us, though. Sounds like I have primates in my room, Bubba. Hold on, I'm going to turn that down. You get 1 or 2 seconds of belly rubs? Nice. To be fair, I've never actually timed it. We're just going to turn that down. That's annoying. Okay. How to restart your phone? Nice. Well, not nice. I had to restart mine twice before the stream. That's why it took so long to get on here. Week slugging along? Yeah, I'm right there with you. It also doesn't help that my sleep schedule's back on the dark side where I'm sleeping all day and up all night. Hey, that's a Yellow Card song. Sleeping up all day, staying up all night. If I could see you now, things would be better. Or something. Hey, Javier, how are you? Hey, man, that cot came in handy. I've been sleeping on it since you sent it. It's fantastic. It actually added more space in my room, which is beneficial. A full-size bed in here. This room is fairly small. I mean, it's a standard, like, kid's bedroom, I guess. When they bought the house, it was actually a home office. And then when I moved in, it was like the exercise room. It had like a treadmill and what do you call those? It's like a stair climber and an army thing. Oh, elliptical. That's what they're called. And then they offered me to move in here and told me I could have this room. And then I moved the exercise equipment out by myself because I was so excited. And they said it would take because people were working and stuff. They said, "Oh, it'll be a couple of days before you can move in that room." I was like, "Right, but if I move it out by myself, I can move in immediately, right?" And they're like, "Sure, but it's pretty heavy." I'm like, And I figured it out and got everything out. Anyway, so between Oreo's large ass cage and the full size bed and my stuff, it just was a pretty small room. So having that cot in here downsized it and made it super nice. So that cot's really well, and definitely appreciate the moisturizer cream. We're getting to that part of the year where cracking has started again. But your comment made me realize, if you haven't seen our community post or the blog on my website front page of our website, I've changed our wish list up. The old wish list is still available. Talk slower, idiot. The old wish list is still available. It's still got stuff on it, but I've changed things up. There are 3 or 4 new wish lists on our wish list page, zachkurtz.com/wishlist. Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, zachkurtz.com/wishlist. And there's Oreo snacks and other supplies. That's where you're going to find all his snacks, obviously. And if you sort the wish list from highest to lowest priority, you will always find his snacks. The Nutriberries, the WALNUTs, those will always be on the wish list unless people send us 1,500 of each, which I don't know if that'll ever happen. But those will always be on the wish list. They'll always be there, easy to find if you sort highest to lowest on priority. And then other Oreo stuff will be up there as well. The next wish list is our what's the alphabetical order of this? I don't think I did alphabetical order. Anyway, clothing for me. There's a clothing wish list: hoodies, pants, shirts, business cash, other stuff like that. Just to help rebuild my wardrobe after all the weight loss. Because I'm wearing like ginormous pants, and it looks bad. It makes me look like, I don't know, a skeleton. Then there's the Zach snack supply wish list. I was gonna put it on my wish list, but I was adding. There were so many snacks that I was adding and had transferred over from the other wish list that it was just taking up the wish list. So I was like, all right, this is just gonna be its own wish list. So yeah, that's there. And then there's the Zach list, which is I think called My List on my website, and that's just all the tech, toys, hobby stuff that I have added to the old wish list over the years and new stuff. And then there's the everyday supply list, and that's the everyday items that we use, like soaps, towels, studio tech, cables, all that stuff. Did I miss one? I think that's it. I think that's all the wish lists that are there. I might separate the studio stuff out into its own wish list and maybe make a hobby list for all the hobby stuff, like chainmail, leatherworking, clay, stuff like that. I might make that into its own wish list. But for now, that's how it's sorted. And each of those wish lists, for the most part, if you sort highest to lowest on the priorities, that's like the stuff we mostly need. I've been more diligent about sorting that by priority, unlike the old wish list, which even if you sorted it highest to lowest, there were so many things in the high category, the highest in the high category, that it was just chaotic. That wish list, that old wish list is like 5-6 years old, and I've never really gone through and sorted it, so doing it this way has made it more manageable. And as long as it's all getting added to the same cart, it'll come here. So you can bounce from wish list to wish list and add items as long as it's in the same cart. And then you can add other stuff to that cart outside of the wish list. So if there's something you want to send us that's not on the wish list, you can totally throw it in there and it'll also come here. And you can Google how to do that on Amazon if you want. He is a pretty bird, thank you. His name is Oreo. He's a 22-year-old Red Lord Amazon. He's my buddy. I've had him his entire life. He's doing well. He's a happy burbs. He might get a bath tomorrow. Don't tell him. Hello, hello, Flame. Is that Vicente Flame? Sorry, I'm hearing Texas speech pronounce that, so if I said your name wrong, I apologize. What's up, Seth? Night Owl indeed. Yeah, it is a great relief to have that wish list figured out and sorted. And it forced me to log back into my website and tinker some stuff on the back end, so fortunately I have everything set up to auto update for the most part, so that's good. Wait, Yellowcard has a new album out? Really? Um, I was listening to an interview today that came out on a YouTube channel that I follow, uh, and it was talking to the lead singer of Everclear, and really fascinating. His name's Art, and he has MS. He got diagnosed with it, and he was talking about it, and he's like, even if I'm in a wheelchair, I'm still gonna tour and go out and sing because we need money. And I was like, totally, dude. Dude, Amazon has changed my life and the life of other blind people out there. It's probably made us more reclusive and antisocial, but whatever. Like, don't have to go to the store, arrange transportation. We don't have to find a ride. We don't have to schedule it days in advance. We don't have to ask for a shop assistant to help us around the store if we can't get someone to go with us. Um, we don't have to scan the items on our phone to get information. We can literally just browse Amazon, hit the buy now or add to cart, have it shipped to us in a day or less, and we're good to go. The only thing I don't really like about Amazon is buying clothing off Amazon, because like I'm one of those people, I like to try things on before I buy it. But Amazon does have a pretty decent clothing return policy, so I'm not that worried about it. I also have someone in the house that can hem stuff if need be. Berber, I don't appreciate you pooping on me, sir. I am not your toilet, my friend. Also, we gotta, like, I can't say that, never mind. That's gonna sound really weird. Good night, sleep tight, J-Beer. Javia. Yeah, I'll check out the new Yellowcard album for sure. I only know that song, Ocean Avenue. As far as I remember, I only know that song from them. They were one of the bands that I heard a lot, but I was like, alright. They were kind of like that pop punk era. I like this fan, but it has such a big bass. Okay. Your wife constantly sends the clothing. Your wife sent. You know what? Cool. Good on her. Talking. Such a pain in the ass. There was a time where I was looking at becoming a public speaker. That was before the stuttering had started. And I could actually string sentences together decently. Now I sound like a rambling fool, Berber. I've been hand washing this cup, but need to go through a dishwasher round. YouTube is what I leave on the TV. I pulled up one of my old YouTube channel profiles that I had great expectations to use and do stuff with, and then didn't. But it's part of my YouTube Premium plan, so he doesn't have to watch ads. And so I usually put on safari videos from Wild Earth TV. They have like, they take you on safari. They have like a vehicle and a camera and a naturalist, and they talk about the stuff that they find, plants, animals, lions, elephants, giraffes, hippos, birds, plants, termites, warthogs, all that stuff. So they will tell you about it. They will show it, and that gets put on usually in the morning because it's usually the first recommendation that YouTube does because they're constantly uploading. They do a sunrise and a sunset safari every day, and I don't know what the time difference is from here to there, but usually when I wake up in the morning at 9, there's at least a new video up, or I can catch a live happening. And then I put on kids cartoons on that channel too, so it'll like go through a few like documentary series about nature, and then it'll switch over to like the Magic School Bus, um, Bugs Bunny. I played the VeggieTales the other day, and I was like, nope, 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 nope. We're not watching VeggieTales. That show is annoying and it reminds me of my childhood, and cannot watch it. My mom, when I'd had visitations with my mom, that's all we fucking watched was VeggieTales and Star Trek Voyager, which I'll take that over VeggieTales anytime. I actually like Star Trek, so I'd at home I'd watch Next Generation, and so when I was at my mom's house, my sister would always put on Star Trek Voyager when she could. Catherine Janeway. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. So yeah, YouTube will play pretty much anything between those two genres. It also plays like YouTube videos with like just music and like imagery, and I have to turn those off because it's very like calming, relaxing music, and I'm sleepy now. Can you stop, buddy? Can you stop? This poor shirt, dude. It didn't do anything to you. It's actually worshiping you, sir. It's got your whole image on it, and you're over here just destroying it. Smiley Friends. I have seen that title. I can't remember where. It's either on Netflix or while browsing through one of the streaming platforms. I've seen it. I just figured it was a kids' cartoon, so I didn't really check in on it. Dude, stop. Lacey and I have been watching Welcome to Derry. Lacey also introduced me to Stoner Cats. That is a weird cartoon. Good though. Good. It's a good cartoon, but definitely a cartoon I did not expect Ashton Kutcher and not Miley Cyrus, Mila Kunis to be part of. But I guess they created it, so. Or they had like creation credits? I don't know. And then Exploding Kittens on Netflix is hilarious. I did not know. I did not know that was based off a card game. I'm watching it. Lisa's like, "Oh, that's the card game." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Sorry, buddy. All right, dude. It's 8:15. Let's see if we can do Bourbon Modes, and then we'll get you set up with a snack. And that should take us to 8:50, 9 o'clock. Excuse me. Thank you, Nurse Lacey. Oreo really appreciates it. Bye. Look, Barbara, it's your favorite person.
No.
Get her, Barbara.
Say ah. Okay.
Thank you, bro.
Bye, bye. You're welcome.
Huh?
I said hi, bye, you're welcome. Huh, what?
What? I just realized she laughs like Elmo. Okay, bud. Let's get you set up for this snack. You ready for a treat? Ooh, I forgot to eat water. I'll have to go grab that for you, bud. Do I want to do that first? No, we'll give you a treat first. That way I'm not reaching into the bag with wet hands. Because no matter how much I dry my hands, I don't want to have a little bit of water. Also, the Ziploc on your Nutriberries ripped apart again, so that sucks. I need to get like a 2-gallon BPA-free plastic bucket. Or metal. That way I can put your treats in a sealable, airtight container. Yeah. Oh, actually, I have one. It's a gallon size. It should hold all your treats. It had uh, like baker oats in it or something. Oh yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get you some water. Hey, bud. Here's fresh water. Yeah, that's the most expensive water one can buy. I bought it directly from the company of TAP LLC. And if you want to be really fancy with it, you can call it the Tapier Company. Yeah, it sounds French, doesn't it? Lacy Flash indeed. She doesn't want to leave Bobby alone too long because he'll start humping her pillows. That's his girlfriend. Well, he's got multiple girlfriends. There's at least 4 pillows on that bed. I have more than she does, though. I need all the pillows in the world. I can never have enough. Dude, that's one annoying thing about hospitals. I mean, there's a lot of annoying things about hospitals. But, like, they'll give you 2 pillows. And then it's like pulling teeth to get more pillows. I'm like, look, I sleep at a 45-degree angle. Alright, more like a 90-degree angle. I need pillows. I don't, you psychopaths who can sleep on a bed with 1 pillow, with your head almost laying flat, how the fuck do you do that? It's also like the people who sleep on their stomachs. I'm not judging, I just don't know how you do it. I feel like, I can't. I cannot do it. Sleeping on my stomach feels wrong. If I'm sleeping on my stomach, I'm either really drunk or being held hostage. I don't know. I'm a side sleeper and a back sleeper, but even on my back, not a fan. Side sleeper for sure. It's my favorite one. Your wife is a psychopath. I'm sorry. Get her evaluated. Maybe I'm the psychopath because I can't sleep on my back. I don't know. I've done it, and I don't. Or wait, yeah, 1 pillow, not on my back. Sleeping with 1 pillow, head almost flat. I feel like I'm about to be executed. I feel like there's someone standing over me with a sword or an axe, just being like, "Okay, now lay down, tilt your head back. All right, perfect. Bam." Can't fall asleep like that. Also, past ladies have been like, "Let's snuggle." I'm like, "Okay." And then they're like, "Put your arm under my head, under my neck." And I'm like, I feel trapped. Also, if I have to get up to go to the bathroom, I'm gonna have to like gently slide my arm out while they're passed out. And then they're gonna wake up and be like, "What are you doing?" "Taking a piss." "And you got me trapped." Are you guys getting the impression that I'm a lone sleeper and antisocial about snuggling and sleeping? I might have said too much. Actually, speaking of taking a piss, I'll be right back. Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Dude, I sleep with one blanket, and it's a thin blanket. And when it's hot in the summer, I sleep with a sheet. I If it's like no heat in the room or it's like the power's out, then I'll grab another blanket. But I have like this thin bamboo blanket that I sleep with, and it's enough. I'm a I get too hot when I sleep. And if there's another person in the bed, forget it. We can snuggle, but you're getting all the blankets. I'll take like one. Ozzy indeed, R.I.P. That was one of the first songs I learned how to play on guitar. Well, I learned that riff. I didn't learn the whole song, but that's pretty much the whole song. I also played it on piano as well. I enjoyed when I had a piano or a keyboard. I enjoyed learning something on one and then transferring it over to like the guitar. So if I learned something on the piano, I'd try to figure out how to play on the guitar and vice versa. Same notes, same stuff, but there's different like ways to play it. Guitar's a little bit more versatile than guitar's a little bit more versatile than piano as far as like where you can position the notes on the guitar. It's a different movement. Piano's linear, so you're moving up and down the keys. So you really only have like couple ways to go with it. Whereas a guitar, you can move diagonally, you can jump strings, which is more kind of a puzzle to me. Um, if you want to see someone who has like a true love for piano and like lives and breathes piano, check out John Baptiste on YouTube. That dude is insane on piano. Like he truly makes the piano come alive more than any other person I've seen. And these days play piano. If you don't know who he is, he was he was in the Stephen Colbert show, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert's show band. He wrote all the music for the movie Soul. He's won Grammys. I think he won an Emmy for the movie. I'm not sure. He's a jazz pianist, which, okay, I'm not a big fan of jazz, but whatever. But, like, there's videos of him sitting at a piano just improvising and playing, and it's so interesting. When I play piano, I feel, like, robotic and mechanical and struggle to put, like, emotion and feeling into my playing. That dude just does it instantly without hesitating. Brr, brr, brr. Now, I know that was a warning, gentle bite, but no. Do y'all have any fun weekend plans? Ooh, anything for Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, whatever. Turtle, it's your first Thanksgiving with Luna. And Christmas. Are you getting her fun Christmas presents? Does she get her own stocking by the fire? Maybe a stocking with her paw print on it after you dip it in paint? Or get her one of those stockings that looks like a bone? I love dogs. Dogs are so sweet. Sorry, Berber. You're very cute, and I love you more than dogs. But dogs are adorable. You got a wedding Friday. Nice. Is it like a dress up, not funeral? Is it a dress up wedding or is it like a casual wedding? I've only been to 2 weddings in my life. I've been to way more funerals. I know that. I played piano at one wedding, badly. Not badly, just awkwardly, because have I told this story? I think I have. So I was like 7 or 8, and I was taking piano lessons, and my cousins didn't want to pay someone to play piano, so they wanted me to play the wedding march. Bow down, or whatever. I actually don't remember how that goes. And so my piano teacher and I worked on it for months, and I got pretty decent at it. And hooked my keyboard up to a couple of amps, rocked out. But the problem is, I can't see what's happening real time. And the bride, my cousin, I won't say her name, but my cousin was wearing these nice heels, and some wise ass thought it would be great. So the aisle she was walking down, was like a nice rock, gravel pathway in someone's backyard. And they decided to lay down a sheet of plastic over it. So as she was walking down the aisle, her heels kept getting stuck in the plastic, and it slowed her progression down. So what I had practiced time-wise was completely thrown off, and I played through the wedding march pretty quickly because I knew she was a fast walker. And my grandma was standing behind me, and she was tapping me on the shoulder, and she was saying something, but I couldn't hear. And it was pretty funny looking back, but as a kid, I felt embarrassed because I just played through the wedding march and just sat there because I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, so that was the first wedding I was in, and then the second wedding, I don't remember. I wasn't part of it. I was a guest. I want to go to a dog wedding. My 2 puppies are getting married. That seems fun. Why are you getting all screamy? You want to come here? Do you want to come hang out? Hmm? Do you want to come here? Yeah? Do you want to come here? Okay, hold on. I gotta take stuff down. Gotta move stuff. I'm gonna take your water, okay? Taking your water. Do you want to eat before I take it? Okay, I'll be right back. My bad. It's like a fun little roller coaster ride, Bubba. To do as little as possible over the weekend? Yeah, same. Just let my body recover. Wait, you're working the Eagles game Sunday? Nice. What's that like? Gonna hit Dollar Store Mega Stocking? Hell yeah. Big church wedding. Ooh, boy. Better break out the suit and tie. Or whatever you wear to those. I don't know. I'm in a dress-up wedding. Both of the weddings I went to was like jeans and shirts. Actually, no. I lied. The wedding I played piano for, I had to wear tux. Or a suit. I don't remember. I know I had a tie and a jacket. That was a tux. Pretty sure it was a tux. Now I think back. I felt so fancy. First time I ever wore something like that. We rented it from Men's Warehouse. We were poor white trash. We weren't gonna buy that. We could just rent it from Men's Warehouse. Funny, both my suits are from Men's Warehouse too, actually. Been working the bar for 14 years at Eagles games. Absolutely nuts. Dude, that sounds crazy. I've always wanted to try learning to be a bartender. I just don't know how pouring and mixing would go. Unless I like use like tools to measure it. I know like baristas and bartenders do like the count method. But that also feels like chaotic, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if I practiced it, it would be better. But I don't drink anymore. And buying alcohol to practice making drinks seems a little crazy. And being in a loud, crowded bar sounds horrifying. I know when I've been in loud, crowded bars trying to order drinks from the bartender, I can't hear what they're saying. I have no idea how they can hear what I'm saying. I just go shots and go vodka or bourbon. And hope they hear me and hope I get something. If I'm at a restaurant, then I'll do like a cocktail or something where it's a little quieter and I don't have to worry about them not hearing me right and fuck up. There was this restaurant with a bar in Olympia, and I love that place. It's called The Reef. It's still called The Reef, I think, unless they closed during the pandemic. It's a pretty cool restaurant. They made fairly decent drinks. I'm no connoisseur, so unless it's really, really bad, I wouldn't know the difference. Pour tops. Okay, something like that. Also, I have like these barista pumps for syrups. It does a 1/4 ounce at a time. I feel like putting that on, and it fits 750 ml bottles, which is nice. I feel like if I could use that, then I'd have a more accurate system. I also have these pour spouts for those same bottles, and you can count with those, I guess. Night Turtle, sleep tight, sweet dreams. Thanks for moderating, and hopefully we'll see you on Friday. Give Luna lots of scratches for me. Tell her I said sup. Tell Midaru hello. Also give him lots of scratches behind the ear. It is funny because Midaru sounds like the name of a dog. Midaru. But he's human. Wait, how long is bartending school? To get licenses, to get like License as a bartender. Have we had this conversation? Can't remember. I could just Google it, I guess. I've been watching Bar Rescue. It's just something I was throwing on in the background. And that show cracks me up. As someone who knows nothing about bartending or being a bar owner, I'm sure they dramatize a lot of it, and it just cracks me up. Also, some of that stuff makes me never want to eat at a bar again. Or restaurants, really, because I watched that and I watched Kitchen Hell and Hotel Hell with Gordon Ramsay, and I'm like, oof, I'd rather cook at home. Or I don't know how some of those bars get away with not being caught by the health inspector. Like, are they paying off health inspectors? Because it's not like they got dirty overnight. They've been getting dirty for years. And how have they avoided health inspectors or like alcohol licensors? Two, 3 month class for it. Nice. You can just work your way up, huh? Do you have to have a bartender's license? Is that just like a quick, like, 10 question thing like for food handler's license? Alright, that's not 10 questions, but it is pretty simple. Hey, bud. Also, me asking that question puts you in legal trouble. Shh, don't answer. All hush hush here. It is funny. One of those box companies where you can like send them $40 a month and you get like a box of random nonsense. I saw a box that had like bartending stuff, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. This is back when I had student loan money, but I was like, maybe I should get that and learn the basics, and I could be a bartender at college. Y'all get inspected twice a year, once or twice a year. All right, that's somewhat decent. Each state has their own service. You need to sell alcohol. Bartending schools, never one of them. All right. See, I learned something. You do the same sorts of bartender needs the waitress needs as well. Okay. See, learning stuff. This is why I like doing live streams. I get to learn about fun stuff. I get to know about all of you. I get to learn fun stuff. My ignorance gets recorrected. I probably would make decent tips, just for the blind factor. People are like, a blind bartender? Take all my money. I'd be like, no, don't tip me because of that. Tip me because my drinks are good. Dude, I've literally... Okay, so me and my cousin were out at a campground and this has happened to me elsewhere and multiple times, but people will just walk up. This one old person walked up and handed me $10. And he's like, for your struggles. I was like, I'm a 12-year-old out camping. What are my struggles? I've had people like at stores do it as well. Like just random encounters. People just walking up and handing me like $5-10. I'm like, cool, I can buy a candy bar. Have you seen the price of groceries? As a teenager, my fallback plan was to go join the carnival and be a freak show. Like, because I've actually done this at the Haunted House I worked at, where I'd take out my eyes for money. And I was like, well, this could be a career at a carnival. That was my fallback plan. Because I like traveling. I like seeing the country. Pun not intended. I like carnivals. I like drugs. Let's do it. My dad's like, absolutely not. He's like, how would you even find a carnival? I'm like, oh, they winter in Florida, and if you have a fun talent, they'll let you run with them for a run to see if you fit, and then you work your way up to sleeping in the trucks to getting your own trailer. He's like, how the fuck do you know that? I'm like, oh, I did research. It's my fallback plan. How am I not going to know anything about it? And then I fall in love with a carnival lady. We get married at the carnival. And then I live my life happily ever after at the carnival. I'd be perfectly fine with that. Do I get visions of any kind? So do you mean like mystical fortune teller visions, or like visual vision stuff, like regular stuff? I'll go with the regular stuff for now until you correct me. No is the short answer. They took both my eyes by age 2, so I don't really have any memory of vision per se. There are some fragmented memories, but I don't know if they're actual visual memories or if they're like false memories. So I was a Make-A-Wish kid. Boo. Yay, but boo, because they sent me to Disneyland with my family, and sending a 2-year-old to Disneyland is like throwing money down the drain, in my opinion. I know it's more for my family than it was for me. I don't remember much of it. I remember the limo coming up in the driveway, throwing the bags on the back, and then me talking to the limo driver nonstop as he drove us to SeaTac Airport. I vaguely remember seeing the limo's outline or the shape of it, and then kind of the interior. But again, I can't really describe it. It's not like... It wasn't really full vision at that point. It was kind of like blurry, like fragments. And same at Disneyland. I remember standing in line to see the Devil Rat, aka Mickey Mouse. That dude scared the shit out of me. Or lady. It's usually a lady in the costume because they're shorter. Mickey Mouse scared the shit out of me. And I remember standing in line freaking out. I could see Mickey Mouse's outline. His creepy ass hands with 3 fingers, 4 fingers, whatever. 3 fingers and a thumb. And I was making such a fuss that we found like a way to get out of there. So we like jumped the line. Like one of the workers let us go up. We didn't stop. We like went up the line and then went out the exit, and we passed behind Mickey Mouse, and his stupid tail was there, and I freaked out even harder. I kind of remember vaguely seeing that, but there's no color. It's like all outline type stuff. I couldn't tell you about the light. I couldn't tell you about the color. It's very, very vague, and I can't like pull it up in my mind. Like something has to trigger it for it to be in my mind for a second. And then the other thing that I can remember from being young with vision is Christmas trees. But again, it's that same thing of like, I can't pull it up whenever I want. It has to be triggered by something, usually smell, around Christmas. Or like a thought of Christmas. Like I remember, the thing that I remember most about Christmas trees is like the lights. But again, I can't describe to you how light works. I can't describe seeing the lights. I just know that they twinkle. I kind of vaguely remember the twinkle, but it's not enough to extrapolate vision off of. It's very vague. And again, that's kind of why I wonder if they're like false memories. And they also don't really know how good my eyesight was towards the end, because retinoblastoma affects your vision because it like starts to spread through the retina and starts to kind of deteriorate your vision. and as it moves through the eye, it starts to affect the rods and cones in the back and all that stuff. So it's very likely that when I was seeing those things, my vision was shit poor. So as I've gotten older, I've tried to induce visual patterns, so loose like color type things using certain substances that you find at colleges or whatever. Liquid sunshine, fungi. Nothing's really worked to do that. And I've taken heroic doses of, well, I've taken mega doses of both throughout my life. My next attempt will be heroic doses of fungi, which is around 20, 30 grams at a time. I've done 12, 15 grams at a time. Started with 12, then did 15 a couple months later. Did 4 tabs of liquid sunshine at a time. I started with 2. That was my first time doing 2. But yeah, nothing really has unlocked that part of my brain, and it's likely that nothing ever will. Yeah. As far as spiritual visions, not really, no. The closest I can get to that probably, and I don't really put a lot of stock in it. The day of 9/11, I was sleeping, and I woke up around 1 in the morning from a nightmare, and I just remember sitting in a plane, and I was 2001, I would have been 11. I was sitting in a plane, and all the rows in front of me disappeared, and it stopped at my row. And that's it. That's the only like part of that dream that even somewhat relates to that day. And then another one that happened, and again, it could have been, this one could have been clues I wasn't picking up on around my family. 2 weeks before, I was kidnapped to go to Disneyland by my aunt and her kids. Literally, I'll tell you that story in a second. I had the dream I was sitting on the Haunted Mansion ride, and there was this creepy, actual, like, wraith ghost guy that kept sitting behind me and running his fingers through my hair. Creepy. And then, like, 2 weeks later, I literally was spending the night at my cousin's house, thinking it was a sleepover, and I was a little weird. I was a little curious one night I had to pack a suitcase. But he's like, you're going to be there for a couple days. Just take some clothes, take some stuff, whatever. I was like, that's weird, but okay. And then we get up the next morning, we have a big breakfast, and then we were going to go run to Target or something. Some excuse they gave me. And I'm like, we get in the car, and I should have clicked, because there were suitcases in the car, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're storing stuff in their car, whatever. And then we're driving in the car for like a few minutes. I'm like, we should have been at Target already. I'm like, hey, do we miss the turn to Target? What are we doing? And they're like, we're going to California to Disneyland. And I was like, what? I'm sitting in the back of, it was me, my cousin, and my cousin in the middle was in a car seat. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I gotta sit in this car for however long it takes to get to Disneyland like this? This is not comfortable. But I was like, okay, Disneyland, fun, yay. I would love for them to plug electrodes in my visual cortex and try to stimulate that, and see if they can like stimulate some sort of like visual signal. But what's interesting is if you lose your sight as a child, as an early in life, you have a bigger opportunity that your visual cortex will be reassigned by your brain to do other stuff. And they've done studies on this. And I forget the statistics of it, but your visual cortex will help with spatial awareness, language, and math. Now, I didn't get the math part. I got the spatial awareness part, and I got maybe the language part. My comprehension of language and like reading is pretty good. And then even as adults, so if you like lose your sight 2030s, you have a pretty good chance of your visual cortex being reassigned after a little bit. And then the older you are, it starts to go down that it'll get reassigned. But my dad lost one of his eyes as a toddler. Pretty much the same story as me, but he got to keep one of his eyes, though it was covered in cataracts due to the treatments they gave him. And then they did a cataract removal surgery on him when he was like, I don't know, 10? So he got his vision back. Not 2020, but good enough to drive. The only restriction he had on his driver's license is that he couldn't drive at night. He still drove at night. So he got to keep his vision for quite a long time. He would occasionally have to get cataract surgeries. So he got to see pretty good. And then once he lost that eye completely due to diabetes, he still had a pretty good recollection of color, and it didn't really go away. Like he could still visualize stuff he had seen. He could speculatively see stuff. So if like he read a description of something, he could like visualize the color, the shape, the out, like all that stuff. What was interesting though is like all his recall of stuff. So like if he thought about me, he didn't see me in his mind as I was that day. It was all older photos of me. So like if he'd seen a photo of me on Facebook like 4 years ago, that's what his brain automatically recalled. And then he would have to work to add in new details. So like if I got a new piercing, I would like let him touch it so that he could place it exactly where it was, and that he could like build a new image off of that. Or if I got a new hairstyle, beard, long beard, short beard, whatever. Mental map for where I am. It's kind of interesting. So my coffee cup is to my left. I know that I know like that without a doubt because I put it there. There's two kind of parts to this actually. So if it's something that I've handled, I've set down, I picked up, I placed, I don't even think about it. I just go grab it. I don't think about everything that's on this table to my left or to my right. I just know where stuff is. I know that's where stuff is. But if I can't find something, then I'll sit down and like visualize that table to try to be like, okay, this is where this thing was next to that thing, so this thing must be right next to these two things. But for the most part, if I want to reach over and grab my coffee cup, I don't even really think about it. I just grab it because I know it's over there. And I might be off a little bit, especially because this chair turns a little bit or readjusts. So that's kind of how that works. I don't really visualize it before I pick it up unless it's like something I can't find right away. And my roommate will come in and move stuff, and I'm like, even if she moves it like a couple inches, it still fucks with me. But if I have to be like, hey, go grab my coffee cup, it's on the front. If you're looking at the table, it's on the front right edge. Sorry, front left edge if you're standing. Depends on where you're standing. But it's in front of the Keurig, about 6 inches. Or there's a fidget toy on my other table in front of the fan. There's 3 fidget toys in front of each other. I want the middle fidget toy. So then I can I can tell like that to people and they'll get what I'm talking about. Um, but like for house navigation, a lot of it's done instinctually, actually. I just kind of know where stuff is and use audio clues. So like the way that our upstairs living room is, it's like there's a bar, not like a drinking bar, but like a breakfast bar. Although it'd be fun to turn that into a drinking bar. That separates the living room from the kitchen. So there's a refrigerator, and then there's like a stand-up freezer right next to each other. So those have audio cues built into them. The motors, which typically run at times, they both run at different times. So there's that. There might be the dishwasher running, so that's a good audio clue. There's like sound barriers, I guess. I always struggle to explain this part. So like, if you grab a piece of paper, and you close your eyes, and you hold the piece of paper up near your face, your ears are going to hear that the sound isn't going out into the room. It's being reflected back at you. Kind of like echolocation. I prefer to call it sound shadows because it's like a shadow. It's like the sound is hitting something and reflecting. I don't know, sound shadowing sounds way better than echolocation. So I use that as well, echolocation, whatever you want to call it. So when I'm walking around the house, I'll do this because that helps me like locate like, oh, there's objects to my right and left. That's probably this part of the bar. That's where the bar stools are. That's where the table is. Because across from the bar, there's a small dining room table with 4 chairs around it. So those things are great and helpful. That if the TV's on, that's also a great audio cue because that's like right in the middle on a wall. It's like right in the middle of the living room, but on a wall. So if I can base my judgment off of that. There's a doggy gate in front of the stairs, not for me, for the puppies. But I don't have to worry about falling down the stairs or missing the cue that the stairs are right there. I've done that a few times, especially at college. I like skated down like a flight of stairs because it was like wet, and I missed the fact that like I was right at the top of the first step. So like I somehow like slid down them without falling. I like stayed on my feet, which was interesting. I don't think I could pull that off again. But a lot of it's instinctual. I don't even think about it. I just do it. If I get disoriented or lost, I can like backtrack in my mind, or I can pull up like information that I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. I'm probably at this point of the living room or this point of the hallway. Out in public on a route I know well. I can be like, oh, I probably missed this turn. I'm over here by this building or whatever. So it's hard to distill it all into words. And you would think after 30 something years of doing this, I'd be better at explaining it. But it really has, because I was blind young, I just have built it into my brain. I've like baked it into how my brain operates. And so when someone who goes blind later in life, and I'm trying to like teach them or tell them like, hey, try using these methods, I have to really like sit down and work with them and be like, okay, we're gonna start at the basics, and I'll have them do the piece of paper thing and get them used to that feedback to their brain, and then I'll take the piece of paper and I'll move it around their head, and I'll be like, okay, where is it now? And I'll test them, and they'll get it wrong at first, but then they start building up accuracy the more we do it. And then like, I actually did this with my dad. Like I took him into a room, and I would like spin him around in a circle and be like, okay, just listen. Don't move, just sit here and listen. Pick up on what audio cues you can listen. Try to hear where like try to feel for any sound shadows. Listen for any like echolocation type things. Try to get a sense of how big the room is. And the worst enemy to a person who's visually impaired is probably big open spaces like parking lots, like empty parking lots. It's very easy to get disoriented and veer off a path. So like if you're standing at like the doors of a Safeway and you need to walk a straight line out, I don't know, let's say the sidewalk or bus stop straight out of the Safeway doors, usually not, but for this example, and you got to get across a large ass parking lot, no cars, I don't know, maybe it's night, whatever. You try to get across that, you're gonna have drift in your pathway. You're gonna drift from that straight line, unless you're just really, really, really good at walking. You're probably gonna have some sort of drift. I mean, there are people who teach you how to walk with a cane. They're called mobility instructors, or orientation and mobility instructors, O&Ms. And they go to training. They go to intense training. They learn how to teach it. They learn how to use it. They literally get blindfolded. They get dropped off in a city. They get like all this training. Sorry, they get dropped off in a city to pass like tests. They don't just get dropped off to like learn how to use it. But like they'll get dropped off in a city with a shadow instructor, someone who's walking behind them, and then they get like tested. Same for us actually. Depending on where you go, like they'll take you if you're learning how to use a cane and you progress through the program, they'll take you out. You plan a route, they'll take you out, and then they'll stay behind you, and they'll drop you off, and then you have to navigate that route, whether it's walking 5 blocks, 10 blocks, or taking a bus, or taking a cab. Sometimes that final test includes all of that. What was the original question? I went on a tangent. Oh, how do you picture your surroundings? And the tap of a cane, at least for me, I can use it as kind of like an echolocation tool because it bounces off stuff around you. It's not just bouncing off, the sound isn't just down at the ground, it's like bouncing off around you. Like you can use that sharp staccato tip. It also depends on what tip of the cane you have. Mine is ceramic, so it has a more of a click, whereas some canes have like a plastic nylon tip, which is to me not as feedback. It's not as good feedback. And then there are blind people who use like so the technique I use is called a 2-point touch. Whoops. Do I have anything long and straight? I want to make a joke. I do. Okay. So we're going to pretend this is a cane. It's actually a K'NEX, but we're going to pretend it's a cane. So 2-point touch is left shoulder width, right shoulder width. And as you're doing the left tap, your right foot should be moving forward. When you do the right tap, your left foot should be moving forward. Trust me, that takes a while to learn. And then other techniques you can use is like the drag. So instead of tapping, you're dragging your cane across the tip of your cane across the ground. I find that super annoying myself. It puts a lot of vibration into my wrists and hands, and I have neuropathy, so it sucks. Also, it's just loud and annoying. I don't like it. To be fair, I don't even like the tap. It annoys me. And then if you're going up a staircase, your cane is going to be hitting every step. You're going to hold your cane in a vertical grip, and you're gonna put your cane against the stair in front of you, and you're going to let it kind of bounce off each step so that you know when you reach the top. And I don't know if this is a approved method. That one is for sure, but I don't know if the next one is. So when I'm going downstairs, I put my cane in a vertical grip and move the tip across each step as I go, the step ahead of me as I go down. So I know when I hit the bottom and where each edge of the step is. And escalators, you're going to put your cane tip down on the step in front of you, or maybe 2 steps in front of you. It's a little harder to do if there's people in front of you. You can also put it on the step. Sorry, when I say the step in front of you, I mean like the next step in front of you. But you can also put it on the step that you're standing on in front of your foot. That also works. Less invasive. And like I said, and the people who do drag method, there's two types. You can use a regular tip for your cane, or you can get like this roller tip. And there's a couple different ones. There's one that looks like a marshmallow, and there's this one like a giant ball. I don't like the roller tips because if you want to use two tap method, if you want to use either, yeah, if you want to use two tap method, those tips are pretty heavy, and they'll tire your wrist out. And I'm typically a two tap person, two touch person, 2 point touch person. So I don't want to have like a weight at the end of my cane. Mine is ceramic, so it's pretty light. And those roller tips get clogged up with debris and dirt, and if you go to the beach, sand. So you have to like clean them and oil them, and just whole nightmare. Honestly, I should be using the drag technique because of my hands and wrists, but I don't know. I've always been brought up on the 2 point method. 2 point touch method, Jesus. I live in Washington State. There's actually quite a few techniques for cane usage. Another one is called shorelining. So if you're walking down a sidewalk and there's like a grass barrier on either side of the sidewalk, so sometimes they have like a grass barrier of the sidewalk that faces the street, and then you have one on your right side, like decorative shrubbery or whatever. And so you're gonna keep your cane. You're gonna use whatever technique you want, whether it's a 2 point touch or the dragging. But you want to make sure that your cane is hitting the tip of your cane is hitting that shrubbery every time you move your cane to that right hand side. And that's also how you can detect like pathways, driveways, turns. Same thing for when you're walking along like a curb thing. You want to make sure you don't step off that curb. You can keep checking in with the tip of your cane. Or you can do a diagonal thing where you put your cane across your body in a diagonal stance so that the tip is shorelining that barrier or whatever you're using, and then you can walk forward. I don't really like this technique because it doesn't really help cover your left side. So if like there's a bike in the pathway laying down, you're probably going to trip over it because your tip isn't checking in with your left side that much. Dude, why'd you bite me? That's not nice. Oh, for sure, for sure. I don't mind talking about this stuff. I just don't like bringing it up constantly because I'm like, maybe it's boring to people. And there's tons of YouTube videos on it out there and all that good stuff. So there's people that can probably explain it way better than I can. But it's like people think blind people have like these superpowers. And it's not that we do, it's just we've been forced to learn how to use other senses. You give me a sighted person who's willing to learn, I can at least give them the foundations to use those sensory inputs the same way I do. And will they be good at it right off the bat? No, but if they sit down and put practice into it and they truly want to learn how to do it, within 4 to 5 years, they'll probably be at the same level I'm using it, if not more. Or, you know, like you can train your brain the same way I train my brain. You just don't have to because the longest sense that you have is vision. So your brain automatically relies on that outer sense because it's the one that gives you the most awareness of danger. So your brain's automatically going to default to that sense. And then hearing as well, your brain's going to use those two, vision and hearing, long distance. And so those are like the two default senses that your brain relies on. And then smell, closer, touch, even closer. And if something's touching you that's dangerous, you're already in trouble. And then sense of taste is more so for like foraging and out in the woods, like taste testing stuff. So your sense of taste is like inside you, obviously. So your body's going to respond to that not as often. So you're probably not tied into it as much, unless you're like a sommelier or a food tester, or you're just really into food. I don't know, but like there's reasons why people don't automatically like learn to use their ears like I have, or sense of touch, etc., etc. And what sucks is the senses I do have gotten worse over the years. Sense of touch is fucked because of the neuropathy. Sense of smell has gotten screwed over because they took out my frontal sinuses, and the radiation they treated me with made my sinuses, my mucus has been thickened, so that messes with my sense of smell, as well as the fact they took out my frontal sinuses. That also affects my sense of taste. As a kid, I could taste something and tell you everything that was in it, and then that went away. My sense of taste is completely messed up now. Sense of smell is interesting. Like, we'll walk by someone and I'll start gagging because the perfume they're wearing smells horrible to me, because I'm not getting all the notes of the scents. I'm getting like certain ones and it does not smell good together. My roommate's like, that was a really good smell. Why did you gag at that? I'm like, that smelled like dog shit, dude. So that's an issue. And my sense of hearing is going bad because I've maybe not taken hearing protection as well as I should have as a kid. I always had headphones on full blast, or earbuds, whatever. When I play electric guitar, I'd have the headphones on full volume or the amp up full volume. I worked with my dad on cars. Would go out to the shooting range with no ear protection. So all that nonsense. So I will probably need hearing aids. Oh shit, it is way past 9 o'clock, y'all. It is almost 9:30. I think I know why Berber was biting my ear now. And we'll finish that cup of coffee. We're gonna wrap up. Orient, I love you all. Be kind to yourselves and others. Go learn some cool shit. Laugh at find reasons to laugh at yourself, but more importantly, laugh at other people. Shout out to the mods tonight. Turtle, thank you for moderating. I know you've gone to bed, but still. Have a great night, Joe. Yeah, you get me talking. I lose track of time, for sure. Hopefully we see you all on Friday. That's my goal. ZachHertz.com for all your wonderful Zach and all your nonsense. Check out our wish lists. We have a few new ones now. It's all sorted and nice. ZachHertz.com/wishlist or ZachHertz.com/contribute. We'll get you over there. Contribute page has our Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, merch, wish lists. Remember, stop biting my headphones. Also has blog posts, all that fun stuff. Sanctuary plans for the Paris Sanctuary I would like to build. Yeah. But we love you all. Take care. Be safe for the rest of the week. And peace out. See ya. Love ya.